Well, you can hear the music there. Yes, we've got a little first alert action going on with some morning rainfall out there. Live look at Chandler as we start out our morning. Sun isn't up just yet. And yes, we're not going to see much of that sunshine this morning with some of the cloud cover that is bringing us some rainfall. Some of the showers around Fountain Hills, Queen Creek area, and then we'll zoom in to the West Valley. You know, most of these showers not even hitting the ground, but definitely maybe a sprinkle or two out towards Surprise, Sun City, the Glendale area, even out towards Avondale. We'll zoom on out. Bulk of that rain happening north of us. You can see from Prescott to Payson, even Blue Ridge, definitely seeing some of that rainfall out there. Upper 50s in Phoenix, 57 in Tempe. We've got 56 in Avondale. I want to show you the scenario for the next couple of days. We've got a low off the coast that's going to continue to bring some moisture around parts of California and the Pacific Northwest. For us, well, a nice little warm up. Weak little ridge of high pressure will build, and that's where we'll start to see temps in the 70s. Sunday looks pretty amazing. Notice we've got some nice sunshine, temperatures comfortable, and then by Monday into Tuesday, some of that rain starts to push ever closer towards us. Best chance of rain will happen in northern Arizona on Monday. Looks like the best chance here in the valley will be midweek next week. So let's talk about our forecast. If you have any travel plans for your Thursday, 44 degrees in Flagstaff today, lower 50s on Friday. We'll see a high of 51 in Sedona, and then mid to upper 40s in Payson, 46 in the Grand Canyon. Your first alert 7-day planner, 67 today. There's that first alert issued with the morning rain and the wet roads. But conditions will improve this afternoon. Definitely some clouds. Clouds sticking around Friday into Saturday. Look at Sunday. 74 degrees. Oh my goodness. Mostly sunny skies. Get outside and enjoy. And then the next chance of rain will be Tuesday into Wednesday of next week.